Okay, so welcome back to another tactical video. And in this one, we're going to take a look at Arsenal and Mikel Arteta tactics for FIFA 23. So this is the third video this week doing tactics. In the first two, we did Union Berlin and we also did Newcastle. We're going to do like a quick dive into the way they play in real life. We're going to talk about their squad, their lineup, and how we could try to set up the tactics to play like they do in real life. And then, as usual, I'm going to take it into online seasons. We're going to play Division 1 today with Arsenal, and we're going to clip in the highlights, and then we're going to do a summary at the end. So let's get started. Okay, so what you see here is the default tactic, the default formation, and the default starting 11 for Arsenal in the game. And this is actually pretty accurate. This is basically the starting 11 Mikel Arteta has been using most often this year. And as usual, I've done a little bit of research, and I'm going to leave a link to the article I've used as my research piece. So you can take a look at it. If you want to learn a little bit more in depth, you can take a look at that. And I'm going to take my notebook here. I've done some bullet points. We're going to talk one by one, go through it. And then after that, we're basically going to take a look at the players and strengths, advantages, weaknesses, stuff like that. Because I already played one season in online seasons. So I have a little bit of experience playing with them. So I can talk a little bit about that. And then I'm going to clip the highlights from the season. See if we actually manage to get the Division 1 title, or what happened, we'll see. And let's get started by how they like to play in... I think we're going to start with the offense. So basically, what you see here is a 4-2-3-1. In reality, though, they actually play more like a 4-1-4-1. So what happens is... I'm going to activate the player here. Okay, so Thomas Partey is going to be a DMF. Or CDM, I mean in FIFA. I mean, it's DMF in PES, right? But in FIFA, it's CDM. So he's basically going to be like the traditional number 6. Like a defensive midfielder, right? And then we're going to have Granit Xhaka, who's basically going to be more like a regular CM, actually. The thing about Arsenal, though, is they play very complex. It's a different formation when they attack, when they defend up high, and when they defend low. It's all different formations. So keep that in mind when we're going through it here. I'm going to try to explain it. So Granit Xhaka is usually going to step up whenever they do a high press. He's going to step up and join the high press, basically, as a central midfielder. And it's also gonna do a lot of runs upfield when they attack. He's pretty much gonna join the front 5. So when they attack, they do like a 2-3-5. With the wingers wide, you have Xhaka in between Martinelli and Jesus, and then you have Ødegaard on the right side between Saka and Jesus, like basically. So they have like a front 5 up top, including Xhaka. And he's gonna be kind of like a box-to-box, maybe, is the best way of describing him. And then we have Martin Ødegaard. He's gonna be like the number 10. He's gonna have a free role. He can roam wherever he wants. But from what I've been reading and from what I know about Martin Ødegaard, he is gonna do... it's gonna usually roam towards the right side. So he's able to use the left foot for those in-swinging corners and... in-swinging crosses and those through balls, right? With the left foot. And also the shots, the finishes. So that basically is the front 5 when they attack. When they have established offense, that is. One thing that also is going to happen, because Xhaka joins the attack, and also Ødegaard joins the attack, Partey is going to stay back. And then what happens with the fullbacks, you have Mr. White here, and you have Zinchenko. So these guys are basically going to do a little bit of everything. They're going to do overlaps, and they're also going to invert into the into the middle. So it's pretty complex the way Arsenal are playing. But Zinchenko is going to try to push inside. He's going to use his left foot a lot, be kind of like a deep playmaker on the left side because he has that passing ability. White on the right side, he is also going to try to invert a little bit into the middle, but he doesn't have the same passing ability as Zinchenko, obviously. And that basically leaves Saliba, Gabriel, and Ramsdale whenever you build up from the back. It's a back three, and then Partey is kind of like the top of the diamond. Okay, so I hope you're sticking with me so far. So Zinchenko has the passing foot from the back. He likes to do the occasional long ball. Try to hit Jesus in behind. Try to create something with the left foot. He has the passing ability, so what they also like to do because of the shape, and which becomes pretty natural because of like the 2-3-5 shape, they try to do wide overloads. So obviously on the left side you can go, you have Martinelli, Xhaka, Zinchenko. Also Jesus can drift wide and join the overload to create chances. And that also happens on the right side. White can do the overlap, he can come inside, can underlap. Saka can cut inside and finish. And Ødegaard will also be in the mix there on the right side. Also Jesus, obviously. So it's a very fluid kind of team. They can do whatever they want pretty much, which is why they have scored so many goals. They are in a way predictable, but they're predictable in being unpredictable because they can do whatever. They don't follow like a specific pattern. They can score a lot of different ways. So you're pretty free to play however you want, basically, when you attack. You can play wide and you can play up the middle. Okay. So the defense. So whenever they do the high press, what happens is Granit Xhaka will push up and try to join the high press. But whenever they come back in their own half and set up the defense in their own half, it converts pretty much to a 4-4-2. So what happens then is Xhaka joins Partey as like a duo in the midfield, and then Ødegaard joins Jesus as kind of like a striker in the defense. So they defend in their own half 4-4-2, and on the opposing half a 4-1-4-1. So when they do the high press, it's a 4-1-4-1. So I have no idea how to implement that tactically in this game, but at least that's how they are playing in real life. And then Ramsdale's going to sweep at the back there, just like Newcastle goalie Nick Pope. So they play pretty similar, Newcastle and Arsenal. The only difference is, seems like Arsenal are playing more like their wingers are more like midfielders rather than pure wingers like Newcastle. But I guess the difference is very, very tiny. Not that much of a difference. So that's the way they play. And let's take a look at the tactics I set up here. So they do a high press, and since we are, after all, taking it into online play, we're doing a pressure on heavy touch and nothing fancy. We're going to do a 40 width and a 60 depth to keep the defensive line high, to be able to do the press. Then in the build-up play, we're going to do balance and balance, because they can score a lot of different ways, and they are not like one-dimensional, two-dimensional in terms of how they want to play and who is the chance creator and everything. They have a lot of players who can create chances, and you have a lot of versatility. So with balanced and balanced, you pretty much can adjust your play according to the opponent and pretty much the space you will get and the space you create. You can do whatever you want. Whatever suits the situation. 60 width. Since we are doing the wide overload and primarily playing wide, we have a 60 width. In hindsight, The difference between 60 width in offense and 40 width in defense actually caused a lot of trouble, I think, because you will see in the highlights later what actually happened. But I think the main reason we conceded some goals, and I think the main reason was the difference there. It confuses the players a little bit when they have to shift width in transition. So that is something to keep in mind. And then players in the box, we have 6 players in the box. You stack the box with those 5 guys, and tries to force the finish on goal. And then we have 3 on corners and 2 on free kicks. For the instructions, on Jesus, I think I left it on default, so it's pretty much balanced with mixed attack on him. Then on Martin Ødegaard, we have free roam, so he can roam around as he wants. Gabriel Martinelli, I put comeback on defense on him, and I like when he gets in behind because he has the speed and finishing ability. I think he's a little bit more direct than Saka, who can do a little bit more playmaking with the passing. Martinelli is a pure finisher, so I would like him to use his speed to get in behind. Other than that, he has like the default settings. Then Saka, comeback on defense, and everything else is normal, default. Thomas Partey, I have him being like aggressive DMF, cutting passing lanes, staying back while attacking, doing aggressive interceptions, covering the center when we defend. Granit Xhaka, I have him also doing like kind of like an aggressive defensive effort with cut passing lanes, aggressive interception. I also have him on get it forward, so he will join the attack when we attack, although he is a defensive midfielder by position. So I also have cover wing on him. Zinchenko. What I did with the fullbacks, I put inverted on them, on both of them. And I also have step up on defensive positioning to do that high press and man mark, which can be pretty effective if it works. If it doesn't work, you're going to get burned. But I think using the step up is more true to the way they play in real life with the high press and everything. You do the high press up high to be able to intercept bad passes, right? So your defense has to follow and be ready to intercept bad passes. What I did towards the start, I mean, in the 2 first games, I played join the attack on the fullbacks. That ended up being a disaster. So I put it back on balanced attack, so they will join the attack occasionally. Yeah, and that's pretty much it for those guys. Both White and Zinchenko, I have both the same settings. Gabriel and Saliba, we have step up, normal interceptions, and stay back while attacking on both. And then I have sweeper keeper on Ramsdale, and that's it. So I used this lineup. I didn't experiment all that much with the players. But one thing you will notice though is because of the settings, the instructions, you will have to have good fullbacks on the bench. Zinchenko and White are going to become tired second half. So be ready to use Tomiyasu and Tierney. It's not a problem though, because the backups are so good. Actually, Tierney is even higher rated than Zinchenko, so you could actually consider using Tierney from the get-go, but that is up to you. I used the default starting 11 here, so let's cut into the highlights, and then we're going to do a summary at the end. So I will see you in about 15 minutes. No way. It's getting closer. No, oh my god, Ramsdale, man. I have the FIFA gods on my side in this match, oh my god. This guy has had so many chances. It won't surprise me if I lose this match eventually. It's like 25 minutes remaining. He's creating so many clear-cut chances. No way. No way, no way. Nah. I do one mistake on the counter there. I try the wrong pass on the counter and he gets the counter against me and then everything opens up. You know how it is. So basically some poor decision making by me. On the counter, I'm leading 2-1 late in the game. I can just pass it backwards. Keep possession of it instead of trying to go for a counter. It's pretty much my mistake. We get 1 point. We are gonna need 23 points for the title, so really sucks that we don't pick up the win, but take a look at the shots on goal. We had 5 expected goals, so no. Talk about Ramsdale going from hero to 0 in 2 matches. That is crazy, man. Wow, what a tackle! What a tackle, man! There seemed to be a lot of confusion in my defense, actually. Something is not set up right. I mean, if we look at the first game, we definitely got saved by Ramsdale. The opponent created a lot of chances in that match also. We concede 4 here, we concede 5 expected goals in the first one. So something is not good, for sure. Something is not working here. Something is way off. So we're gonna adjust a little bit on the instructions for our fullbacks. We're gonna have them at balanced instead of joining the attack. Let's see if that adds a little bit more stability. Granit Xhaka, right foot. Granit Xhaka, man. There is no way that just happened, man. We're doing a lot of very nice pressing, but we're not getting the tackle in. Look at this, man. Absolutely incredible. Nej. Nej, nej. Varför? Det är så måste så klick. Det där är helt lättlim.
Please meet your wife at the ticket office.
Oh, that is insane! But I think we can with certainty establish that this defense is it's not so good. No.
Arsenal'de bir oyuncu değişikliği. Çıkan oyuncu 5 numara Thomas Partey.
What a save, Ramsdale.
Oyuna giren oyuncu 10 numara Abdülkadir Ömür.
Okay, so although we have conceded a ton of goals, we have only lost one game. But still, those 3 draws are basically, at this level, you can't draw games. You have to win or lose. A draw is almost worthless at this point. You have to win the matches. So we have 3 chances here to pick up the win we need to avoid relegation.
La signorina Federica Cannavale è attesa all'ingresso della porta 3 dalla sorella Alessandra.
Okay, so we win the match. We concede a couple of goals. Again, we concede so many goals, but we score a lot of goals. So we definitely think this is probably fixable. If you adjust a little bit on the tactics, you should probably be able to shore up your defense without it having to affect how the offense is producing. So let's summarize. Okay, so there we have it. What an incredible set of matches. One thing is for certain, the defense was absolutely horrendous. I'm not sure if that is partly because of Division 1, it's supposed to be harder than lower divisions. But I definitely felt like the team was very unbalanced. I didn't do any adjustments. And I did it on purpose because I wanted to see if it actually became better eventually, or if it was something I had to get accustomed to. So in the end, we only lose 1 game and we draw 3. But that is enough to miss out on the title chances, right? So to summarize, as I mentioned before the highlights, you could do Tierney at left back instead of Zinchenko, and I actually think that could be like a good switch, because Zinchenko was slow on getting back, especially against quick wingers. He was all the time late, especially if the winger had a step on Zinchenko. Zinchenko would never catch up to him. So if you can sacrifice Zinchenko's contribution to the offense and you can go with Tierney instead, I think that's actually like a better solution in terms of defensive stability. Other than that, I don't think the team was all that bad. The offense was amazing. We scored a lot of goals. Obviously, the defense was the problem here, so maybe a little bit of tweaking could be enough to make this work. I mean, you could switch the left back, like switch Tierney in for Zinchenko and maybe do some adjustments on the instructions and also maybe the width thing I was talking about. Maybe we should defend with a broader width instead of 40 width. That could be a thing to experiment with. But I think I'm going to leave it at that. What do you think about the tactics? Let me know in the comments, and like the video if you liked it, and dislike it if you disliked it. I hope you have any feedback for me. Leave it in the comment if you do. Next team up, Erik Ten Hag, Manchester United, guys. We're going to give it another go, Division 1. We're going to go with Erik Ten Hag, Manchester United. See if we can get a little bit better defense, maybe. I think the offense is going to be at least equally good as Arsenal. So I just need to find a team that has good defense, and I think we're going to get the title. So are you excited about Manchester United tactics? Let me know. And thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one. Take care and stay safe, guys, okay?